In this video, I'm gonna be telling you guys how to draw pixel art for absolute beginners. This video is gonna cover the basics, things that you really need to know, and some tricks that can take your artwork to the next level. So let's get started. So what is pixel art? Pixel art is a very popular art style when you are limited to a hyper small resolutions down to pixels. This is an excellent art style to get started for absolute newbies, and the goal is to use every pixel you have because the canvas is pretty limited and every pixel is crucial. Now that we know what pixel art is, you might be sitting there thinking, how do I actually get started? How do I actually draw pixel art? Well, firstly, you have to take into account the software you're gonna use. I recommend using Sprite, but you can use Photoshop, Paint.net, or Graphicscale as a free alternative. Then the best canvas sizes to get started is either 8x8 or 16x16. But then the best is probably the 16x16 if you're just getting started. So when drawing pixel art, first you draw a basic silhouette or a basic shape. Then you add in the color, detail, and then shading. There are many topics to take into account for when dealing with pixel art. One of them is color theory. So color theory is a study of colors basically. The reason why many people study color theories for professional design is for making the designs look nice and appealing to the eye. So the most common ways for people to pick colors to use in their palettes is either the RGB system or the HSV system. The RGB system stands for red, green, and blue, while the HSV system stands for hue, saturation, and value. RGB is basically how red, green, and blue is in a color, while HSV is a little more complicated. H stands for hue, which means the color basically. S stands for saturation, and that means how much of the color is there, and V stands for the value, which is how bright the color is. So before drawing pixel art, you would start with the color palette, which would have a base color, a highlight, and a shadow. One of the biggest mistakes beginners make when finding a highlight or a shadow is just increasing the brightness and calling it a day. This is wrong. When finding a highlight, you're supposed to increase the brightness, aka the value. You also decrease the saturation and you move the color closer to yellow, giving it a hot look. And when finding a shadow, you decrease the value, aka the brightness, while also increasing the saturation and moving the color closer to blue, which gives it a cool look. This color palette is way better than this one. So a few words to look for is contrast, which basically means how much the color stands out to its environment. If something has a high contrast, it means it stands out to the colors around it. Then we have complementary colors, which are basically colors which are opposites in the color wheel. For example, blue and red. And the analogous colors are the colors near it in the color wheel. So let's draw a ball. Firstly, of course, we start with a ball. Then we will have a highlight and a shadow. Next, we will have more extreme highlights and shadows, and then the detailing. If you guys wanna get started, subscribe if you like this video. Follow a guy called Pixel Pete, and he has a full tutorial series on his channel. Subscribe if you like this video and click on this video if you want to learn more.